How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill, and in today's video, again working on the Bronco. Now, I just got 5 new wheels and tires, which means it's time to put a spare back on. I've been riding around with the spare tire delete now for, it's been almost a year since I've had that on, and I really do like the look of it. However, I like the idea of having a spare with me at all times, especially since I have these bead locks on there. So for peace of mind, I'm going to go ahead and put the spare tire back on there. Now, I did get some pretty heavy new wheels and tires. They're about 120 pounds each. So we're going to install the rough country tailgate reinforcement bracket. Put the old bracket on there, and a little extra lighting back there too from Oracle while we're at it. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, I'm gonna have to take the old delete off, and which is just a couple of bolts here. Disconnect the light and the camera. Take this off, and then we can switch everything back to the O.E.M tire carrier. So first things first, let's get this taken off of here. Now before I take these off, I'm gonna go ahead and undo these bolts. Now, like I said, it's been a year since I've touched this, so I don't remember exactly how the wiring is connected back behind here. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these bolts first, so that I have play and everything, and I can just disconnect it when I pull these bolts off. If you want to see how the kit got installed, there'll be a video up in the corner down in the description that goes over how to install this kit, but for now, we're just I'll go ahead and disconnect that. And so this is our light bracket. And that light just came out of the original O.E.M tire mount. Actually, I did forget there are 2 more wires here. Forgot these lights here that shined on the license plate were right here, so wired in. We tapped wires to go into the normal license plate light, ran them up, tapped these wires into that, and it just, these little LED lights that were shining on top onto the plate itself, so the plate was lit up. It's just LED, 2 little, and power and a ground. Cut them off so we have plenty of extra length there if we need to reuse them anywhere. Alright, so now we can remove that completely. Alright, before I do anything else, I need to clean this. The first thing to disconnect on this door is going to be this rod right here, because that's going to keep tension on the door, and so when we undo the hinges, that's going to tweak the door just because of that amount of pressure right there. So it should be fairly easy to pop off. There's a little band there. Let me get a screwdriver. The screwdriver should fit in there. Should be able to pop that up like so, and we can just pop that off. Okay, prop rod's off. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Alright, so we're going to be replacing these 4 bolts with these 4, which are an H6. And then it's got these little spacers that go on the back side that kind of fit into the divot there. So you're not actually rubbing or resting on the hinge. You're suspended away from the hinge and from the paint a bit and resting on these. And then to take these off, we need, it's a Torx Plus 45. Hopefully, as we undo these bolts, this doesn't shift too much. I'm just breaking these loose. So far, it looks like our shims are working. And again, these are going to sit kind of in there like that. And if they just will hold in place and make this even easier for us, that would be awesome. And kind of, well, all except for the one. Had to be one difficult one. But all those other ones just kind of snapped in there. And they're going to stay there for us, which is nice. Alright, so I got those bolts in. I don't have them snug down at all. Now we can finish putting together the actual tire mount. I run this through here. Rudder plug in. Alright. Now we gotta put these back on to hold them in place. Fit these together. Now, Rough Country provided these bolts, these hardwares, which I'm not a fan of, so I'm going to reuse these. They're the same length, so they should be perfectly fine. And we can go ahead and now there is a little spot here where the wire goes through, and there's some clips back here. So that's just setting in there right now. I got the one screw in there, and we just put from here, you just put all the bolt holes in, get everything lined up, tighten everything down, and we should be done. But I got one more thing I wanted to install while we were here, which is this Oracle Lighting spare tire third brake light kit. Alright, so that's just sitting on there for right now, but if I go tap the brakes, so yeah, that is lighting up. It's not as bright as I expected it to be, but I think it'll look cool. Now, I know I've seen a lot of people just take this off completely and use just this. I don't know what the legality of that is, because third brake light is supposed to be higher than your brake lights. So I'm gonna leave that on and just use this as an additional light, not as a replacement. Now, as far as connecting these, it just gives you some self-tapping screws that'll screw right into the plastic, supposedly, and be good. I would recommend not using a power tool on that, because if you do and you go too fast and strip that out, it's not going to be very sturdy, I don't think. Now, I know I just said not to use a power tool, but now that screw did not want to get started in there, so I went ahead and drilled a little hole there. There we go. What exactly this composite material is made out of, but it sure looks like metal shavings coming out from where I drilled that. So I don't know if it's got a metal core or what. That seems pretty tough. The top one went in pretty soft. These bottom ones, that's very firm. Yeah, that's very firm. I've seen some complaints about how that installs and how that wouldn't hold up very good, but now seeing how hard this material is and how well those are screwed in, yeah, I think those are going to hold fine. Is that I wouldn't use a power tool to tighten those down, because you could strip it out and loosen that, so just hand tighten them until it's snug. But yeah, I don't think that's going anywhere. Now we've got a bunch of hardware that Rough Country supplied that are going to go into all these holes. Got all 8 of the bolts in there. All 8 of these bolts for the carrier in, and these 4 bolts installed. Hopefully as I tighten this, I can Okay, so we did shift a little bit, and this line wasn't perfect, but I did shift a little bit that way, and it's not hitting, and the door's opening and closing. All right, so there we go. We got brake lights. This, I probably could have kept the the extension on there. It shows, but it's not, like if you're down here, you can't see it, but I think that light kind of makes up for the lack of being able to see that. But if you're, you know, a decent distance away, you should be able to see that with no problem. Brake lights work. Now, one issue I have is I don't have anywhere to put my license plate. So when you get the Bodyguard bumper, it does have this, and it came with these lug nuts here that have holes in them. So then you could screw that into those. The only problem is I don't have the bolts to go. I need some bolts and nuts that are long enough to go in there in the right pitch. It's quite possible that Bodyguard sent them with the bumper and with that relocation kit at the time, a year ago, that I didn't use. So I don't have them anymore, or I do, I just don't know where. So I'm gonna have to take a quick trip to the hardware store to find some bolts that will go through here so I can mount that, and then the license plate bracket will be right here, and we should be good to go. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy to finally have a spare tire. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.